Welcome back to another episode of unnecessary building in Minecraft. Not too long ago, I built one of my most creative builds ever, building an overworld biome underneath a pit of lava in the Nether. And it's safe to say, you guys really enjoyed that video. So today, I decided to do the complete opposite of that build, and I'm going to be transforming the overworld into the Nether in hardcore Minecraft. This build turned out amazing, and honestly, I think it's my favorite one I've done so far. And as always, this video took days of effort to create, so if you do go on to enjoy watching, please consider subscribing and join the Wawa army. We're trying to take over YouTube this year, but we can't do it without your help. And if you are already subscribed, maybe leave a like to help promote this video to more people. Anyway, enjoy the video. G'day guys, my name is WadZee and welcome back to another episode of Hardcore Minecraft. I just gotta apologize firstly because it's been so long since I've made a video and you know, I'm sorry. But a quick refresher, in the last episode, we made this awesome wither skeleton farm and we had to slab this whole area. It was pretty crazy. And this farm is one of my favorites that I've ever made. It's great for XP. And look, now I just have infinite wither skeleton skulls. It's incredible. So if you want to see how I made this wither skeleton farm, make sure to go back and watch the last episode. But anyway, enough about last episode. It's time to get into today's episode. So my most viral video ever was when I built this build here. So since I've built this build here, one of my most requested videos is to do the complete opposite and build a nether biome in the overworld. So that was exactly what I was going to do. But hey, I didn't forget, before we can get started, of course we need to plant another 200 melons for today. And most of the work has already been done for me. In fact, for once, I'm gonna have to go ahead and try and find enough dirt to finish our section today. All right, and just like that, we've planted our 200 melons to the melon farm for today. And if you want to see how big this melon farm ends up getting, and it's getting huge as of recently, we do this at the start of every episode, so make sure to subscribe. And now we can get on to today's project. All right, so step one with every completely pointless build, we need to collect all the blocks we're gonna need. And we're gonna need a lot of blocks today, but to begin with, there's 2 blocks I want a bunch of, and that's gonna be netherrack. And I also wanna grab a bunch of obsidian to begin with as well. So finally, I have a use for all this garbage netherrack that I've been collecting for just forever. All right, now let's make a quick trip over to our end dimension, and we need to collect a bunch of obsidian. All right, so I'm not even entirely sure how much obsidian I'm gonna need, but I think it's gonna be a lot, and I'm gonna begin with collecting like literally about a whole shulker box full of the stuff. And yeah, this is gonna become my life for the next however long this takes. I really should bring a beacon with me to do this, hey.
A few moments later.
In the last episode, I killed 2 withers to make our wither skeleton farm. So I've got 2 spare nether stars here. May as well use them to make a beacon. All right, and there we go. Damn, that's quick. That's some fast obsidian. I mean, this is still gonna take me a while, but that was probably definitely worth setting up. So now the journey for a shulker box full of obsidian begins. All right, it's been like a couple of minutes. We've already got over a stack, so by that logic, it's only gonna take me about an hour to get a full shulker box. It's crazy to think that I spent a whole hour just mining for obsidian and we hadn't even got into building yet. All right, I think that's going to be the last block. Let's take a look. Boom, a completely full shulker box full of obsidian. Now we've got everything we need to start this build. Let's go get started. All right, so the first question that needs answering is where in this area are we going to build this thing? I want to do it around like here, around our spawn, where all of our other giant builds are. I'm thinking maybe somewhere out this way. Like, yeah, just maybe here. Maybe we'll do it here. This area looks nice and flat. But yeah, to get started, I'm actually just going to clear a few trees. Just to make it easier on ourselves as we try and like work around it all. All right, so now that I've roughly cleared out a bit of an area, I guess I just want to explain what we're going to be doing with this build today. So obviously the first time I did this, transforming the nether into the overworld, I made a really deep hole going down into the earth, and then I transformed that whole thing. But since today we're doing the opposite of that build, I figured instead of making another hole and transforming that into the nether, we would build a nether upwards, coming out of the ground. But to begin with, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna outline a large circle starting from here, going around and out that way. Yeah, that's just gonna be our starting point. Oh no, I've slightly stuffed up this circle.
Oh, no.
And I've built it out of obsidian. All right, so I've fixed my circle up now. I had just one tiny issue with it, which ruined the whole thing. But yeah, that's the area we're going to be filling in with the nether biome. But where this build really gets exciting is we're not going to be doing just one circle. We're going to be doing multiple circles today.
Nice.
All right, admittedly, this little circle is quite small, but I want to add little sections around the outside of this thing to like change up the shape of it. All right, now that we've created all these extra circles, we can go ahead and get rid of the outline on the inside of this. We could just go over it to save time, but obsidian is, you know, precious. All right, and now finally, after so much work, I have prepared the area we're going to be working with today. You can see we've got our large main area with 3 smaller little sections off to the side. That'll make sense later on, but now we can finally get working on actually building up this nether biome. And now we just go all around the outside here, and we're just going to build it all up. So the whole idea with these like outer sections is they're going to be like different layers. They will be a lot lower than the main layer. It'll look cool, I think, than just like one big circle. I was just kind of trying to think of ways to make it just a bit more interesting, really. All right, so that's my first inventory full of netherrack used up. You can see, I mean, we've built up a fair bit, but there's still a lot to go. I want this thing to be like really tall. For this main area, I want it to be like 20 blocks tall or something. Yeah, I'm just gonna start by adding a bunch of layers, and then we'll worry about, you know, details later on. All right, and to stop things from looking like way too just like straight up and down, what I'm actually going to do is kind of like taper stuff in and like give it a bit of a gradient, but I'll make it relative to each of the layers. So you have to view this like little bubble here as a separate layer to this giant one in the middle. All right, so yeah, there you go. I'll taper this one in a little bit, and I'll do the same with this bubble here. All right, and now I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to add a bit of a gradient to our, oh, this isn't the right spot, but to our main layer here, because I don't want it getting too tall before I do this. All right, and one other thing, at some point I want to cap off these like side sections because as I said, I want them to be shorter than the main area, which will tower over it all. And I'm actually going to start by capping off this one here right now. So for the moment, I'm just going to cover the whole thing at the top, just flatten it off with netherrack. This is a bit of a waste, honestly. So now the area we're going to be building up now is just all this. And then eventually I'll cap off that one, and then I'll cap off that one. And then, yeah, that's kind of the process. But for now, I've used up all the netherrack I've brought, so I'm gonna have to go get some more, but this is the progress I've made. This is what it's looking like so far. It's looking big, that's for sure. I don't know if it really looks like a nether biome yet, but you can see this thing is gonna be massive. Oh wait, I lied. I still have some netherrack left. Oh no. Ah. All right, well, time for me to restock on some netherrack and just get right back to work. Okay, good news is I still have plenty of netherrack, at least for now. I should easily have enough to fill my shulker boxes up again. All right, let's get back to it. All right, and now I think it's time that we capped off this netherrack section. Although building up these netherrack walls took a long time, the task itself was really simple. I mean, I just had to build upwards. So I was making some really fast progress. All right, I've been working on this thing for quite a while now. And we've pretty much got the shape of this giant protruding nether biome coming out of our overworld. It does look a lot boxy at the moment, and I do plan to change that. But as I fly around it here, you'll see we've got like the multiple layers and this big giant section on top. I don't really want to fill this all in. I think I'm just gonna leave it, and for the moment I'm actually gonna head off back to the nether and start collecting some more blocks. So the whole idea here is I want to have all 5 nether biomes within this build. On top here I want to have half of it red, half of it blue, because they're the coolest nether biomes. And then on these smaller sections here, I'll have a basalt biome, a soul sand, and just like a normal nether wastes. So we have a lot of work to put into this. All right, so since this is the first biome we've encountered, to start off with here, I just want to start by collecting, you know, a bunch of this. Oh, wait, do I need to use silk touch on this stuff? Oh, you do. Yeah, I just want to pick up a bunch of this nether grass. Oh, this is so annoying to collect. I wish the nether was just more flat so I could just easily dig this stuff up quickly. But I feel I'm going to be at this for a while if I'm going to have enough. Although saying that, I've already got like over 5 stacks of the stuff. So, oh, and a little bit of a life hack, but we can pick up a bunch of these blue leafy blocks. What are these called? We can pick up a bunch of these since these are so similar to like the color of the grass blocks. Like you can see, it blends in so well here. We can mix some of these in and that'll, whoa. Sorry, Enderman. Oh, and something we definitely need to collect is this stuff. If I break this with Silk Touch, do I get 100% drop rate? I need a bunch of these things as well. Once I had gotten enough of the blue stuff, I quickly flew over to the nearest Crimson Forest and started doing the exact same with all the red stuff. And soon enough, we were ready to start building again. And hey, now that we've collected all our blocks, we may as well make a quick visit to our Wither Skeleton farm, get some quick XP, and repair all of our tools. All right, so it's time to get to work on the top of this thing. As I've already said, I want to split it into 2 sections. So to help in that separation, down the middle here, diagonally, I want to have a lava
river.
So to start things off, I'm just going to fill in an area diagonally down this way, right across the middle. All right, and there you go. So this here is going to be the lowest part of the whole top area. This is where we're going to have a lava
river. And
I'm going to build up on either side a nether biome that goes up and like has a bit of a peak. So this will be like the valley, the lowest point, which means for now I need to try and kind of form the terrain here that I'm trying to build. So I'm just gonna kind of randomly, may even have like a little pocket like this. And this is gonna be another giant job I'm gonna have to do later. Going and getting all the lava to fill this in. That is gonna take a while as well. All right, so that is our nether river kind of mapped out. And now it's time to get colorful. So I've used up pretty much all the red grass that we've got so far, which is fine because we can easily go get some more. But yeah, this is what it's looking like so far. But yeah, now it's time to move on to the blue, and I'm pretty much just going to do the exact same thing. Right, and just like that, I'm officially out of the blue stuff as well. But if I take a quick flight up here, you'll see this is really coming together. Like, this looks bloody awesome. So I went away to collect some more blocks to finish off for day 1. And then when I came back the very next day to get back to building, my microphone now sounded like this. All right, it's time we finished off. Of course, I didn't check it again. Like, everything was fine yesterday. So, yeah, this is going to be fun to deal with. All right, it's time we finished off building up these biomes. Sick of doing this already. And build up the biomes I did. And roughly 30 minutes later, we had completely covered the top of our nether biome. Oh, and by the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to smash that subscribe button so your ears can continue to be blessed by the most perfect audio quality on all of YouTube. All right, anyway, now that we're all done with this, it's time for us to go back to the nether. So our new objective now was to collect a bunch of soul sand and magma blocks to scatter along our lava river. Now that we'd added these blocks and it was looking all nice, we had the challenging job of trying to get enough lava into the overworld to fill in this river. Ow. After one trip to the nether, we'd only filled in this much, so I knew this was going to take a while. So I built a new nether portal on top of my build, and soon I had developed quite a good strategy, so now it was just a matter of time. I'm not even joking when I say I spent an hour going back and forth doing this, but in the end, I think it was definitely worth it. So now it was time for us to focus on the details, and the first thing I wanted to do was build a fortress on top of our nether biome. So far we had gotten it to look like this, but it looked a little awkward, so I decided I'd add an extra pillar in the middle. But firstly, I was in need of some more blocks. I finished it off with some broken down pathways at every end, and then I added a separate section of fortress on the other side of the build, and then our fortress was done. Our next step was just to bring in the nether plants, planting a bunch of nether trees and grass and vines for both the blue and the red biome. And finally, after so much work, I could say the main part of our nether biome was done. And it looked amazing. But we were not done yet. We still had 3 other miniature nether biomes to work on. A soul sand valley, a basalt deltas, and a nether wastes. And for that, we were going to need some more blocks. Biome number 1 was the Soul Sand Valley, which fortunately was pretty easy. Bit of soul sand and some bone blocks, and that's pretty much it. Next up was the nether wastes, which was a little awkward because I didn't have all the blocks I needed at the moment, so I was just placing down even more netherrack. But following that, we could move on to something more interesting, our final biome, the basalt deltas. I began by adding a layer of blackstone since technically this biome shouldn't have any netherrack, and then this biome is actually really challenging to replicate. It's just a matter of spamming basalt pillars all over the place randomly, but also there's these pockets of lava all over the place as well. In the meantime, I went to the nether and silk touched a bunch of quartz ores and nether gold ores, which firstly I could use to fix up our nether waste biome a little bit, and with that, all 5 biomes were now done, and we just had some minor details left to bring it all together. The sides of our build, they were completely flat and lacking any detail, so that's really all that was left to change. I started by letting the lava river flow down the side of the whole thing on both sides, and then from the bottom of the build, I built around the lava with a bunch of obsidian, and that looked really good. Next, I decided to go around the entire base and thicken up the obsidian border connecting the build to the ground, building it up really tall in any of the corners. And these changes alone really improved this build, but the sides of it still looked too unnatural, so to fix that, I decided to just rough it up, change the levels and add some more blocks to the side to make it more interesting, which all went with each of the biomes. But we were still left with these plain netherrack cliff faces, which although looked fine, I knew we could make them look even better by using the quartz and gold ores we had collected, as well as some blackstone. Now I know it may seem like all this building is happening really fast, but don't be mistaken, all the effort from the last 2 minutes of this video happened over a period of 4 hours. And this very last step was by far the most tedious and annoying. It has finally been done. We have finished our nether biome that is in the overworld, and I am so happy with how this turned out. This is honestly my favorite build I've done so far. They're only getting better and better. So as I go around here, you can see I've got all 5 nether biomes. We've got our blue warped forest, got the bridge over to the crimson forest over here. It all looks great. The lava river is an underrated detail. This took so much effort and it honestly looks amazing. As I come off this way, you can see we've got our little nether wastes. Around on this side, we've got our soul sand valley, and then all the way around this way, we've got our basalt deltas. Now, my favorite thing about this build is just getting a good look at it from a distance. Oh, look at that. It's incredible. It's amazing. Also, what do you guys think about the sides? I think it looks better, but like, I don't know. It's still a little bit, it's not perfect. All right, and my favorite thing whenever I build another giant build is the view I get when I walk out from my little stupid house. Look at that monstrosity. It looks incredible. And now it's time to take a step back and look at everything we've done in this video. And after 2 whole days of building, we finally had transformed the overworld into the Nether and built something awesome. Make sure to let me know what you think of this build and what I should build next in the comments down below. And again, this video took so long to make, so if you did enjoy watching, leaving a like and also subscribing helps out so much. And hopefully that way I can catch you all in the next one. Cheers.